Yeah, he tempered our expectations.
All right, it's Fright Never Ferocious V. We have Fuzzy and Cypher here. Matt is at a concert, I believe.
Being a boob.
Well, Cypher picked this one, the Clovehitch Killer. This thing is actually, from what I've been reading, is actually based off of. So the character Tyler is actually supposed to be Carrie Rader, who actually now is named Carrie Rawson. She's the daughter of the BTK killer. So it's actually based on her and, her kind of basically turning her dad in.
Yeah.
So all of the other elements, so there was, he was the BTK killer was a church board member, actually president, and he was a Boy Scout troop leader as well, and a veteran. So the guy that was, Don, the character Don was based on him, of course, and had elements based on the real life Dennis Rader. But yeah, it's actually kind of her story about kind of, trying to stop her dad. So yeah. So that was interesting to find out. But let's talk about the movie itself. So why don't we go into intros, and Cypher will go first.
Okay. Well, I'm Cypher. It's good to be sorry. I'm high on I've got a high caffeine level right now because I just got done seeing Fantastic Four. So I was just sitting there chugging soda the whole time. But yeah, it's good to be with you guys again. This was an interesting movie. This went places I did not expect. I got hit up. Fee was like, "Hey, do you have any recommendations for movies?" And I was like, "Boy, do I ever!" And I didn't. So I Google searched real quick. Most underrated horror movies, and this is one of the ones that IMDb popped out of the results. So I was like, "Okay, cool, sounds great," and it's got Dylan McDermott, so why not? So my apologies for maybe some of the content matter in this film. I did not know what we were going into, but I'm very interested to see what your guys' response was to this film.
Yeah, this one was definitely a interesting movie. But as far as what I've been up to, just playing my usual video games, some Division 2, Forza Horizon 5, some GT7. Haven't played as much Donkey Kong this week. I guess Nintendo doesn't have its hooks in me like it does many others. But yeah, I kind of went into this movie blind as well, where didn't even watch the trailer. Just remember hearing Clove something or Clover. My mind automatically thinks Cloverfield for whatever reason, but I'm like, oh, this has nothing to do with Cloverfield or any of those, but definitely not what I was expecting. I guess I should have looked up what a Clovehitch was, because I was never a Boy Scout, so not knowing offhand, and wasn't something that they really made us do in the military. But then again, I think most knot tying for military is like for Navy more so than it is for Army. So yeah, this was a definite weird one, and having it be based off of the BTK killer. Hey, that was always an interesting, like the criminal story stuff. Like I'm big on those. I guess you could say like documentaries or something, or the docu-series stuff on like Netflix, and it's like, yeah, I guess I probably should have checked to see if it was based or at least some of that background info. But yeah, I did not know, but it all makes sense now.
Yeah, I remember several times having to watch crime shows on Netflix because you're like, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch this. Yeah, I remember that. And yeah, you were technically in the Boy Scouts for a few hours until your mom got that feel of, these guys ain't right, and kind of
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, my mom was extra overprotective, which God bless her. It probably saved me from getting into trouble. But yeah, it was like, hey, maybe the Boy Scouts isn't a bad idea for little fuzzy kind of thing. And then she kind of got the pedo vibes from some of the guys there, and it was like, nope, we're not doing this. And that's not to say that that's the case every Boy Scout or anything like that, but being in New York, Boy Scouts aren't really, at least in the city, I can't really imagine other than, maybe helping an old lady across the street or in case they get their purse snatched or something, Boy Scouts really being that prominent of a thing. So maybe it was just the people running it there that were, not the Boy Scout material that you would expect. But yeah, my mom was like, yeah, no Boy Scouts for you. We'll sit at home and, do school stuff or something along those lines. And, that saved me, I guess, from any trauma. So good.
Mama Fuzzy knew what was up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She was like, no, I'm not volunteering him to learn how to do dick knots with older men.
Yeah.
Saved you so much trauma.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, she did. So, sorry about that. I didn't realize I had my sound on.
You're good.
So, but yeah, so what we've been doing is kind of, what did we do? We have been going to Home Depot several times this week to make sure we have these floors finalized. And so we finally get all that done. And then we get to the phone call where the person calls us up trying, to set up for installing them for us. And me and Fuzzy are kind of arguing because he's like, well, the 19th. And I'm like, no, I don't want the dumpster coming here late in the night, late in that week. And this poor woman is on the phone like, what should I say? Should I say anything? Should I just be quiet? So yeah. So sorry to the carpet place lady. But we are finally getting them put in, and then I get to clear out all of the junk in our house so we can get the people over here for that. And then right before I have to go back to work. So yeah, it's going to be a fun week. But we are doing the Clovehitch Killer, and I need first impressions. Cypher's the one who picked this, and he actually gave me 3, and this is the one I thought, this one looks decent. Yeah, not what we expected, right, guys?
No, not so much.
First impressions.
I'll jump into it. Yeah, so like I said, I did not put a lot into trying to pick these. Sorry, spoilers. I did not put a lot of effort in, but I did find stuff that looked like it was decent and seemed like the plot summary was good. However, that did surprise us as we started the film and caught some major religious overtones in some areas. But yeah, I also did not look at a trailer going into this. I had no idea what we were going into besides the very brief summary on IMDb. And so immediately right off the bat, as I started this thing up, all I could think is, what the hell did I just recommend? And of course, as we'll get into later, it changes up. But it started off in a way where it was like, oh my God, is this like filmed in Utah or something? And they were like literally just like doing this down the street, because it felt like what I grew up around. all the Boy Scout stuff, people, getting into that, and it felt a little bit haunting, a little jarring.
So you got some flashbacks, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was a little terrifying because I was like, "Oh dear God, this is back to my childhood where everyone tried to invite you to go be part of the Scouts, and you're like, no, I'd rather go play with Legos and video games, but thanks." There was a lot of this. Utah in the '90s was very much like this, and so it was very creepy to me because it just felt like I had been transported back to the '90s here. Um, and that was not great because of some of the things that come out of this film as we watch it. But yeah, initial impression, I was just like, man, I've been warped back to the old days. And also, why is there so much religion, and why does it feel like this was just filmed in Utah? Like, Ozzy, what do you think?
Yeah, the religion stuff definitely kind of caught me off guard. The Boy Scout stuff, I figured, kind of makes sense. Try to figure out if one of the kids is supposed to be the killer, just the kind of kid that would be killing pets kind of thing, and then upgrade or level up to trying to do or wipe out humans and stuff, or if it was going to be one of the counselors or whatever. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. While I'm baptized, I actually waited until basic training, and I'll sometimes share a story of why I waited until basic training to get baptized. But I'm not the biggest churchgoer, and it's not that I have anything against religion, but it usually feels like you encounter the individuals that are the car salesmen of religion, and they're usually the ones that break all the rules that they say you're supposed to follow, kind of thing. So it's like the minute you kind of saw that, and everything is kind of based around that in the family, it's like, okay, is this going to be extra spicy for the fact that in those cases it seems like the ones that are overly religious sometimes are overcompensating because they have some sort of major skeletons in the closet kind of thing. And I was looking to see what that was going to wind up being, and sure enough, it kind of plays right into the plot for the particular family they focus on. But that first date, I guess he went on using his dad's truck. That should have went a lot differently, especially after the young lady finds the picture under the seat, which I don't know. I guess my upbringing was a little bit different. Like, I guess he didn't find his dad's secret stash until much later in life. Me, on the other hand, I think I found my father's stash before age 7 or somewhere in that range. Like, I know I was already in school at that point, type of thing. But yeah, he probably should have played it a lot cooler. Not saying that, oh, it is my picture, I like that stuff. We're just so that way he doesn't ruin the night, or maybe just end it early and be like, I got some questions for my dad since it's his truck. But then again, I guess he didn't want rumors to spread, and they wound up spreading anyway, and he winds up being the butt of the rumors. So yeah, definitely started off strange and weird, but it was kind of like a strong start for what we weren't really expecting to, as the story took off. So nice start to it. Fee, what about you? What were your first impressions?
So, I mean, I was looking at it, I guess, differently than you guys. I mean, I was peer pressured into getting baptized, so I wasn't really a religious type person. So I can't really relate to kind of that fear of everything. Like, his best friend, it's like, oh, that's a sin. Like we can't even think about that. We can't even talk about it because it's a sin. It doesn't exist. Yeah, I couldn't relate to that, but I could relate to, the fact that somebody did something to somebody, that I cared about, with the girl, her mom, just up and left. And she knows mom didn't up and leave. Already into spoilers, guys. Her mom, she knew her mom didn't up and leave. So I could relate to that part of it. And you can instantly see that he's a Boy Scout leader and he's really religious because he's trying to create an image where people can't possibly think that he would do anything wrong to anybody. That was the impression I got from the movie.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those sometimes overcompensating to, like, or actually, like you said, while we were watching, it's like in plain sight kind of thing. It's like, oh, I'm doing all this. Look at the shiny ball over here because I'm right in front of you doing this stuff, and you have not the slightest clue, kind of thing. So
that was a really, really bad reference to talk about shiny balls and children, but okay. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. No, and I guess I do have to clarify a little bit. It's like I wasn't part of the church and getting like tagged into this.
Yeah.
It was just the nature of the state where like everyone around you was. And so because I was an outsider, like everyone wanted to get you involved. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't sure if I specified that or not.
Well, yeah, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I've heard nightmare stories about the Mormons, and I don't mean ones that are polygamous. I mean just the Mormon church and how they relate and how they treat women and young girls. You know,
or just anyone that's not. I mean, I guess it's. I think I've seen it change a little bit over the last couple decades, but people who aren't part of the church, you definitely get different treatment sometimes from some people too. Like some people are super cool, but there are some. It's usually right. It's the extreme sides of it, right? Like any religion, any political leanings, anything that's extreme usually is pretty rough to deal with.
Yeah.
Because they're just so hell-bent on what their view is and they're just not willing to listen. And or they'll push whatever it is on you as much as they can without caring.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's definitely still very much what it is today. There's pockets. A lot of people are pretty chill, but there's definitely some pockets that are very scary. There's some counties out here where when you go, you feel like you can just sense the judgment in the air. And you're just like, oh dear God, where did I go? Why am I here? And I should probably not be here past sundown.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, every religion has, it's I guess it's negativity and stuff, but some have more than others. So I think in this particular case in the movie, the Christian religion is what this guy hid behind because I guess it was just easy for him being in such a small town. And
yeah,
also the BTK killer also did that. So, I mean, a couple of differences between Tyler's character and what Carrie actually experienced was, as his daughter was when she was 26, the FBI came knocking on her apartment door and was like, hey, do you know anything about the BTK killer? And she's like, what do you mean? And, oh, well, he's your father. She's like, what? So then she helped the FBI figure out if it actually was him. And she kind of, I guess, went and found evidence within the home that they really couldn't get to and everything. Because unlike some of the women, unfortunately, unlike some of the wives that go through this, because there have been several that go through this, they kind of shut down once they find out that the guy that they thought was cheating is now an actual murder. Because most of what they say, if you hear their stories, well, I thought he was just cheating, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, where am I going to go? And what am I going to do if, I lose my husband? I can put up with the cheating kind of situation. Then they find out, no, it wasn't cheating. He was actually a murderer or whatever. So I guess they went to the daughter because, mom shut down, which, in this case, mom probably would have shut down too, because in the story, it was the same kind of deal. She really didn't question him, right?
Right.
Never once did you hear, hey, where you been? Why were you home late yesterday? Like, we didn't hear that, did we?
No.
Oh, no, and there wasn't any real inference there to like, hey, why you always spending all that time in your work shed? Why are you going underneath the house?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
or even bigger question, like, why are all my clothes rearranged or unfolded and moved around?
Yeah, that went a real Silence of the Lambs style. I was not expecting that.
Exactly.
Although, incidentally, I was gonna just mention it at some point, but you guys have seen American Horror Story, right?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
Okay. Well, I won't spoil anything, but
I mean, I've been meaning to get around to it.
Go ahead and watch the first. Go ahead and watch the first season.
The first season.
I enjoyed that one. I know everyone's kind of all over the place on like what their preference is. Number one was really good. And then I really enjoyed that 1984 one that they did, which is basically like Friday the 13th, the TV show.
Yeah.
But the first one has McDermott in it.
Oh yeah.
And when I started seeing what was happening in this movie, I was like, what? This is like a sequel to what was going on there. Interesting stuff. You should watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, hearing and reading some things about the first season of American Horror Story. It was kind of like a possession kind of thing, where he's a loving father, and then they move in the house, and like different side of him starts coming up, and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, he's Dylan McDermott. Besides American Horror Story, he started out with, I guess, The Practice was his first big break. Was it?
I think so. Something along those lines.
So
I think that's right.
Yeah, so he later on, much later, after he was in these legal shows and stuff like that, did he start getting into horror. Before then, he was doing the dramas. So, I haven't seen him in much where it was dramas until recently. I mean, horror until recently.
It I will say, like, I mean, obviously, as he's trying to portray this character or whatever, it felt a little kind of too wholesome and slow for me initially, and obviously they were hiding what was going on. But when I remembered that I had seen him in American Horror Story, and then I was like seeing what was going on in this, I was like, wow, they actually chose the perfect person for this. Because he is very creepy, and he does a very good job at just being. It just makes you feel like you need to go take a shower, like rinse off, you feel dirty.
Yeah, and his son did in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His son got to a point where I need to take a shower. Like I can't. Like, I feel really, really creeped out and grimy following Dad around.
Walking with some high heels and a dress, and he was creeping on his girlfriend. You know? Dang.
Yeah. Like I'd probably need to take a shower after that. Also, not after the smut books, because it's just like, oh, Dad, you got some kinks, whatever. But but when I saw him dressing up, I was like, yeah.
Take a shower. I will say this: they are definitely probably going to wind up getting married because they are trauma bonded now.
Yeah.
I guess we got to get married now. I mean,
she didn't even have to see what he did. Like,
yeah.
She actually got off lucky. Thank goodness. That kid is going to have some troubles later on in life. Maybe this was the prequel to Silence of the Lambs, and that kid actually becomes Buffalo Bill.
Maybe.
It would make so much sense.
Yeah. No, I think, well, without giving away a later part, once the tables were turned with the rifle, I think all bets were off the table at that point. So it made it a little bit easier for what he did at the end. But yeah, that's trauma that's going to follow him the rest of his life, no matter what.
Oh, yeah. That is going to be a huge secret. He might as well marry the girl. I mean, she's the only one that can tell on him.
Mm-hmm.
It was her idea anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. Towards the end, because we know he lost his trophies. He lost his stuff. And as soon as that happened, he could not be the normal dad that they were used to because he didn't have, his things to reminisce on. So he had to go out and kill again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with this movie is that when they were in the house, the woman he was stalking, the girl was like, oh, well, they won't be able to connect this to the Clovehitch Killer or anything like that. They won't be able to connect it to the other cases because she never saw his face. But here's the thing, though. The guy said his son's name.
True.
Yeah, but she may have been knocked out or passed out at that point. Like it looked like she was like after almost suffocating. She was probably sleeping, or not like sleeping, but like passed out kind of thing because of the lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but it's one of those things. Put her on the psychologist's chair or something like that. Yeah, maybe she'll remember or recall it then.
But I feel like that town, given how many people they had lost due to all this, they would be pretty receptive to pinning this on this person real fast if this came down. Even if she couldn't label him specific and be like, no, this person was talking about this stuff, it's clearly him. I don't think they'd care that much. And especially, again, going to it being more of a religious town and stuff. Like if there was anything where they found any of his bondage stuff, or if they found like the room downstairs, spoilers, stuff like that. If they found any of that stuff, they'd be like, no, this guy's obviously that person. We don't care if we can't directly match it. This dude's gonna see prison time forever.
He killed 13 people and he was working on the 14th.
Yeah. And honestly, like, who knows? Maybe he would have actually admitted it. Like when he, at the end of things, like maybe he would have admitted it. Because he seemed like he kind of enjoyed the fact that he had gotten away with that all that time. But he had also, from the beginning of the movie, they made it clear, like, okay, this guy's older now. He's not spry anymore. He's realizing that like his time is kind of coming.
Yeah.
And so maybe he'd just be like, yep, blaze of glory. It was me. And then, take himself out of the picture or something. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, my back's not doing too good. I'm like, seriously.
I was like, man, you're 20 years ahead of me and my back's not doing that good. That doesn't make me feel much better.
I just knew, I just felt he was going to blow his cover when he was sneaking into the house. It's like, he was struggling to get through the window, and then the fact he fell on the laundry basket, it's like, come on. Like if she has any, awareness, she should have woke up from that sleep. But I guess, she was a heavy sleeper until the TV went off kind of thing. But I guess she's used to that being like background noise while sleeping. So it's like, oh wait, it's extra quiet.
People
Why is the guy
falling,
with a mask standing over me?
people falling all over laundry baskets and knocking stuff over doesn't bother her at all. But when the TV goes off, shit's real. It's like, okay, yeah.
Here's another funny thing about. I know it's supposed to be a psychological thriller. It's supposed to be, a horror drama type thing. But you're in a small town, right? Where is Neighborhood Watch? You got 3 people going in the basement, through the basement window, mind you, in the middle of the day. And nobody's peeking out their window with binoculars, like.
But the old lady didn't live across the street.
Yeah. This was supposed to be what time frame? 80s, 90s.
They
Right.
had
It felt like it, but they had the cell phones. Like I was thinking it was 80s, 90s.
No, they did.
And then
It
the
had
cell
early-
phones is like,
Yeah.
Early
maybe it's because of the
2000s.
area. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the original killer killed from 1974 to 1991, and then he stopped, and they were looking
Right.
for him and stuff like that. But I guess in this kind of movie reality, they set it at a different time where, yeah, he did his previous killings, but now he's got to go out and get new trophies.
Sure.
So he has to start back up.
Yeah.
And
So, I
hence
mean-
the cell phones and stuff.
So, I mean, Neighborhood Watch was, I guess, starting to become a thing around the time that those phones came out. It was also a thing very much where once those phones came out, it was a lot harder for someone to probably do those things in general. Yeah, I don't know.
I just, you always had that little old lady, no matter what street it was, especially if it was in a small town, where they were staring at everybody via binoculars at various times of the day. Like, there's always that one person in the neighborhood that does that. They've been doing that for years, centuries. You always had that person sitting out during the Renaissance time, and they're like in the street. They know everybody's business. Come on now.
True, but they've probably called the cops so many times. They're on the pay no mind list now. So it's like, Mildred, you're calling again about the lawn guy? Like, seriously? He's probably doing work around the house. No, he's been here for hours. And it's like, they were like, just drive through the neighborhood and see, and just like, don't stop at her house because she'll just talk your ear off, kind of thing. So yeah, there probably was a little old lady. It's just that, she's got her finger on 911 before the person even stops the vehicle, kind of thing. So yeah.
I could see that for sure. They it's a lot of boy who cried wolf real fast with some of those ones, and they're like, yeah, we're not taking those phone calls anymore from that person.
Yeah, I liked the movie. It was slow in the beginning. I don't think we needed that much, lead up to what was going on. I did like the flashback, how they did the flashback. Because, like, why is this kid showing up and pointing a gun at his dad? Like, what happened? Like, what did we miss? Like, why is he here? So, yeah, I think we needed that flashback of what he was doing. And I'm just wondering how he got to our house.
Wait, how he got over to the girl's house?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they didn't cover it, but he could have easily just like maybe a block down the street been like, hang up, hold up, I gotta get off here.
Well, yeah, that part I understand, but I'm talking about the part where his dad paid for this leadership thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Did he directly pay for it, or did he give the kid the money to pay for it?
It sounds like he gave the kid the money.
Yeah.
Because that makes more sense, because somebody would have gotten a phone call if he didn't show up to leadership classes, right?
Yeah.
True.
I mean, it's a
Sorry, I was just gonna say yeah, because that was him not being there was over like a day or two at that point, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Someone would have contacted. I
Mhm.
think even if they didn't get the money, but they had someone listed for that, they would
Mhm.
have called.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. That was something that they just completely missed when they were going through the details. Good eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mom did call his cell phone,
Yes.
I guess, when they were watching his father follow that lady at the hardware store or the grocery store or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
mom was talking to him like, how is everything? And so he had to have set that up and just used the cash to kind of be on a stakeout.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Dad had a great plan. He's like, "Oh, well, I'll send him over to this leadership thing
Mm-hmm.
that he mentioned, and then I'll send my wife and my younger child over to Mom's house." But it's like, where did they send Uncle Rudy?
It seems like Uncle Rudy is stationed at some sort of like facility, because weren't they like wiping his mouth or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's off somewhere nearby at a facility, but
So they put him in respite care.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Uncle Rudy in this movie.
he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
A car accident, and then somebody accusing him of trying to commit suicide because he's the actual killer, and then he goes into respite care. Like, this poor man, and he
Yeah,
had to go to church.
Oh God, yeah.
He's
Could
like,
you-
if only I could talk.
Could you
Lord,
imagine
give me
that?
the-
That reminds me of that situation where the quadriplegic got stuck on It's a Small World at
Mhm.
Disneyland, and it
Oh.
ran for like, I think it was like a hour or two or something, that the person was stuck on the ride
Mhm.
and had to just sit there and listen to It's a Small World constantly, just on loop. That's like what Rudy ended up getting stuck into. Except
Mhm.
for he had to deal with church every week for X amount of years. Like that was his version of It's a Small World. I'm sure he was like, oh my good God, just end me, please. That organ music is the worst. Oh,
Yeah.
All right. So Jonah's saying he got some BTK facts for us.
ooh, yes. Yes, please.
I said, give to me.
Yeah, it looks like this is one that he's enjoyed quite a bit of. So he's shout out to JP. He's actually got a history podcast that he and his friend do. They're currently on a little bit of a hiatus. They're coming back. But we had actually talked about doing some horror movie or like serial killer stuff as well, just because some of these guys are so jacked up.
So did you know, Cypher, that I have a lot of degrees, but I actually have a history degree and a criminal justice studies degree.
I did not know that.
And I also have, so those are my bachelor's, 2 of my bachelor's. And then I have a paralegal studies associates. And then I went back, and Fuzzy's like, oh man, I remember these days. Flashbacks here. And I also have a master's in legal studies, public policy.
Well, aren't you fancy? Let me tell you what I did while you were doing all those things. I was working at a video game store and then a brewery. So congrats on doing something more beneficial for your life.
Yeah, I tried my hand at being a history teacher, and I wound up being a science teacher because there's so many history teachers that, yeah, I didn't like working in Philly anymore.
It's fair. It's fair.
Who suggested you should be either a math or science teacher from?
Anyway.
Oh, history. Oh, the subject that nobody. Well, I wouldn't say nobody cares about, but there's people that care about it. But it's like the way the focus seems to be for a lot of school districts. history is on the bottom of the list. It's like maybe one step below English. Like they do focus on English and reading, but math and science always seems to be the main. Hey, maybe you should go to that.
I mean, I do have a science degree as well, in earth science and stuff, but I had to go back to school to get that one.
But if you had gone there the first time, you could have saved some time and money.
I could have used with a good history teacher when I was in high school, because my history teacher was a piece of shit. And it just unfortunately had no way of conveying the information in a way that mattered to any of us. It sucked. Yeah. I would have liked to have someone who enjoyed it, someone who actually cared. That might have made a difference.
So apparently, I'm getting everybody out of jail.
Hell yes, you are. You're the right person to know when we decide to start taking people away and making them disappear and wearing women's clothing and then getting caught by the police. You can help us in that situation, right?
No. I'm the one that you're going to come to before you do something, so this way you don't even have to get on the radar to be arrested.
Oh, so you're going to be like a Better Call Saul situation.
Pretty much.
Gotcha. You're going to cook the books and get it squared away before we run into issue. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to have anybody snooping around.
So JP actually did drop one thing in there already. He said BTK was a security alarms installer, and he saw an influx of people wanting installations because the customers were concerned with the BTK. So that's an interesting thought too. The fact that the guy's like, oh yeah, I'd make sure that you get an alarm here. Oh, you better get this. You better set it up. Like he probably set it up in a way like, because he had the listing. He had like the blueprint of where they put everything, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He probably set it up accordingly so he could get in there without issue, which is even more fucked up.
Yep.
Well, it made casing the joint easier. Like he can pick his victims. And it's like, oh yeah, oh, you look a certain way, or this type of person. All right, I'll set up the alarm and not put it on this basement window, or remember this key code, or what the default like master key code might be. Yeah.
And if he decides that he wants to case the joint even more, it's not going to look suspicious, because they'll just be like, oh, he's the security guy. They see his van, or they see him in, the clothing. They'd be like, oh, that's easy. That's
easy explanation.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, that's a creepy one on its own.
Yeah,
because can't count how many times we have the guys walking around trying to sell you security, right?
That's
not.
I'm glad they haven't done that here lately. Like there was a stint, I want to say it was either during COVID or maybe it was pre-COVID times, where it was like the one truck would try to sell you speakers, the other truck would try to sell you steaks, and the other one would try to say, I'm like, I don't want none of this stuff from the truck. Like, if I want this stuff, I'm going to go to the store. Why are you driving through the neighborhood talking about, hey, I got some, high class speakers for your, surround? No, I don't want you to know what I have on the inside of my house. No. I'm not going to tell you I already have the speakers, but no, thank you.
No. Okay. So if you've ever watched the gypsy wedding shows or whatever, some of you guys might have watched them. But the gypsy community will actually do that. They've been doing it for years. They'll actually go around and they'll be like, if you're like a laborer for a particular thing, like roofing, or you'll be a laborer for, driveways or whatever, they'll actually do that. They'll be like, they'll get the materials and stuff like that. And then they'll go around. They're like, hey, we'll give you a really, really good deal, and we'll lay it right now and stuff like that. We'll rip it up and we'll lay down the asphalt in your driveway. We'll do everything, and we'll give you a really, really good deal. It's normally like $10,000, but we'll give it to you.
It's gotta be now though, because we have people roaming through the block working on this stuff, and so you'll get the best deal if you do it now.
Well, yeah,
Hey,
because the stuff's already been mixed, and they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's already been mixed, so it's got to go on a driveway. So why can't it just be yours? And we'll do a good job and stuff like that." They
Mhm.
do that. The same with
Yeah.
the roofing and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
I'm like, memories from those shows coming back. That's what it was like. I'm like, oh, do we have a whole bunch of gypsies roaming around the neighborhood during COVID?
No,
Yeah.
these
Like it?
weren't gypsies talking about the like the porterhouse steaks and
No,
stuff
no,
like
no.
that.
One of them was. One of them was. They were like, they had the van, and they're like, hey, a couple of people aren't home or whatever. They're not going. They called up and they said they're not going to be home. We got to take them back. But since we're already out here and stuff like that, there was a guy that came up and did that.
Yeah, but the New Yorker in me is like, trust no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't call
exactly.
you. Don't come to my door. Have a
Yeah,
nice day.
during COVID time. Now, granted, like I don't like stop bys anyways. Anyone who just shows up at my house, you can kiss my grits. I'm
Mhm.
not answering the door unless I know that you're coming, because I'm not interested in dealing with people outside of my work time. Like I
Yeah.
like my free time. I value my free time very thoroughly. And so, like, if I hear that door knock, if I look on the camera and I see someone on there that I'm not expecting, bye, Felicia. You keep on walking down. You keep on going, because I'm not interested whatsoever. But man, COVID was ripe with them.
Yeah.
Like, I had so many people coming through, and it's like, one, especially at the beginning of COVID time, I was like, I don't know if you have it, so I'm not opening my door. But two, I'm not interested in what you're selling. And three, how do I know if you're actually working for that company?
Exactly.
Because some of it was legit, it was honest, but
Yeah.
there's always that fear there that there's someone that's trying to case your joint just because they're a piece of shit. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was like food related or whatever, I definitely would not do it, because I don't know how long that stuff's been out, what the conditions are and stuff like that. The other thing is that we usually don't, unless we don't go downstairs and see who's out there, unless they're kind of being really persistent. Like they keep on knocking on our door, and then they come back and knock again. And we kind of got confused during COVID because there were so many people coming to the door that we just thought somebody was being super persistent. And then we realized it was multiple people. And then we just started ignoring everybody,
including the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
You gotta tell your story about the Jehovah's Witnesses. You mentioned them, you gotta tell your story.
I was a kid at the time. This is Bronx, New York, 5th floor apartment. My parents, my mom and dad, they would never answer the door for him. But my grandma, she's somewhat religious. She didn't go to church very often, or at least at that point in life. But let them in and let's hear what they have to say. Oh God, my dad's like, scrubbing his temples at this point, like, why the hell did I let my mother-in-law live with us? But they get in there, and unbeknownst to them, although everybody in the house knows that, I guess the lock for the bathroom was a little tricky sometimes, like the latch would slip. So after a while, my grandmother listens to them and offers them a drink, and they've been there long enough, and it's like, oh, can we use your bathroom? Sure. They go in the bathroom, and like a couple of minutes later, it's like they're knocking from the inside. Like, we can't get out. Is it? It seems like it's stuck. So it's like my dad, he's pretty burly guy. Without trying to break the door, he's trying to like unstick it, like jiggle the handle and all that. None of that's working, and he didn't feel like breaking the door, because then you'd have to call the landlord up there to fix it, or the maintenance guy to fix it and stuff. So he's like, well, the fire escape is out there. Why don't you guys use the fire escape, crawl over to the bedroom window that's right next door. This is all from the 5th floor, mind you. So they do that because I guess they didn't want to be stuck there forever, and they figured there's no way to get that door unstuck. So they braved the fire escape on a building that was probably 20 to 40 years old, and
Jesus.
top floor, little rust on that fire escape. So they crawl through the window, and I don't think for the rest of the, I guess, 8 or 9 years that we lived at that apartment afterwards, I don't think we ever got another Jehovah's Witness to knock on the door.
Yeah, it definitely set a tone, I'd say. That probably was like, nope, never again.
They probably told all the Jehovah's Witnesses, don't go to the house. They tried to kidnap us.
Yeah, serious. Good
Oh,
Lord.
man. But yeah, it worked. Hey, but don't have any fire escapes here. So
it did what you needed at the time. So JP did just mention another fact in here. He said, so he was the actual BTK killer was caught because after decades long hiatus, he started writing letters to the police again. So he basically got sloppy and revealed too much info, leading to his arrest, which sounds right. Like it's just like in the movie, because he goes back to kill again because now he doesn't have his trophies. You can tell like he's not being as cautious as he probably had been back in the day. And that's kind of hinting at that same thing too, right? It's like you get that arrogance where you're untouchable and you're emboldened by the fact that you've never gotten caught. So you get messy. You make mistakes. That was his downfall for sure.
Yeah, so the disc BTK used to send the police his 2004 letter included his name in the disc's metadata.
I guess he didn't know about metadata back then.
It was early enough that no one was thinking about it, I'm sure. It's like us using Napster and LimeWire and stuff and being like, oh, no one can get me. And they're like, have you heard of an IP address? And they're like, oh, shit.
I remember Napster. Now was that a long time ago?
Yeah, those were the days. Although, just to go on record, I used it only to get digital versions of CDs and tapes, mainly tapes that I already owned.
You already owned. Yeah, that was the same thing here. Yeah, so he also mentions police discovered BTK's daughter would get routine checkups for cancer. So police obtained her medical records and were able to use her DNA to get a familial match to DNA found at the crime scene. Yeah, so that's another one of those ones. Like, just painting yourself into a corner real fast.
At the same time, it's like, wait a minute, they can just get our medical records?
Yeah.
Even if we're not accused of a crime?
If they have enough
suspicion,
suspicion,
they have just cause for it.
Wow.
There's a judge that will probably sign off on it.
Well, I think that's how. I could be wrong, but I think that's how. Because we had an incident. What was it? I want to say it was like 7 or 8 years ago. Here, we had a person that ended up getting nailed in a kiddie porn ring, and it was one of those things where, like, from what it sounded like, those people had been doing this for a long time, or at least a decent while. But what had happened was they started like sharing stuff across the internet with each other. And they had gotten reports that maybe there was something going on. So they basically were like, hey, we have just reason that we need to look at these IPs and we need to check the traffic, because we have thoughts that like this is leading to something else. And so, like, if they have just cause for it, if they have suspicion that something's going on, they can subpoena stuff, they can request, like, they can jump on it pretty quick and get a lot of access real fast.
Yeah.
So nothing's safe. Don't do anything stupid, kids.
Yeah, the biggest tattletale these days are cell phones. So I do like the one part where they showed how he left it at the house, I guess, to avoid triangulation or something like that, being in the vicinity other than for work. That's probably the thing nowadays that gets a lot of the criminals or trips them up, or at least the smart ones, I guess, know that in advance and try to make sure that, oh, well, I'll send my cell phone with another family member that's going over the bridge, and then I can use that as an alibi. And it's like, well, they can also check the what do you call them, Easy Pass or
Yeah.
turnpike
Yeah, the
cameras
toll
and stuff
roads.
like that now.
Yep.
So it's like, oh,
Yep.
well, your license plate was here, but we didn't see you driving. It looks like your kid was driving or something.
They can run your credit cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that that guy that got nailed recently with a bunch of stuff, I'm forgetting the guy's name. Koberger, Brian Koberger
Yeah.
or something. He was doing stuff where he thought he was trying to trick the system because he would remove the SIM card or remove the battery from his phone when he went places, thinking that would fix it for him. And when they went back and they looked at his records, they're like, well, your phone went inactive at this time. And then you came back and we were able to match that up with what else was going on at that time where we saw you and stuff. So they were like, yeah, that's cool that you did that. But at the same time, like, that doesn't just mean we can't find you. And like, that just means that now we're searching for you everywhere and we're looking more detailed because we didn't have your phone to go off of.
Well, he's actually being sentenced.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's being
finally happening. I think they let go some of the gosh, I'm trying to remember. My coworker was mentioning that maybe they dropped a couple of the charges or something.
Yeah, he got sentenced to life without parole for the student murders. I think they did. I think they dropped a couple of charges that might have been kind of identical to each other. You know, when you get charged with something, you get charged with multiple counts of the same thing because it could be based on either timing, or it could be based on days, or it can be based on units. Say like an arson, 7 apartments, you know, you set a fire in 1, but 7 light up. You're getting 7 charges. You're not getting 1 charge, you're getting 7. Now, when they go to court to the preliminary hearing, that's when they argue, the defense will argue and say, hey, this is excessive, it's cruel and unusual for them to kind of do this. They're all technically the same charge. And then the judge will say whether or not at that time if it's excessive or if it's okay.
Right.
And that's probably what happens at some point. It doesn't have to happen during the preliminary. They can do it all the way up to, you know, prior to conviction. But usually they do it during the preliminary, unless there's some other thing they have to deal with.
Yeah. JP did actually add a little more detail to it. He said, I should have mentioned BTK was already under police surveillance at the time that they obtained his daughter's DNA. So, yeah, so that's good to know. That definitely put it on their radar faster, I'd imagine, too. Yeah, they were probably looking at every tie to his life to see if they could find a slip up somewhere, or if they could match him.
So, has somebody asked, is there a serial killer who hasn't been caught yet? Yeah, there probably has been. I mean, look at the Zodiac. Zodiac was never technically caught. There have been
the one I said.
Yeah, there have been, you know, they do have a person that they know hands down has probably done it, but he died before they were able to. Now you can go through and actually charge this person, have a trial, even though they're dead because it's based on murder, but they still didn't have as much evidence to do that. So that's why the Zodiac Killer is the number one that got away. But I'm sure there's others. Let me look up.
Well,
I think there was one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say JP mentioned, I think, the Long Island Killer also. Which, yeah, and that whole case is all sorts of fucked up. And that one spans over a couple decades, a few decades, I
Yeah.
think now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said Jack the Ripper. Here's the
Mhm.
interesting thing about Jack the Ripper, and they came out with a book about this. Jack the Ripper, they said, was actually I think midwife or whatever. They guesstimated that it was actually a female midwife, that actually did the murders.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
that is an actual theory, that they think it wasn't even a guy that did it,
Interesting. Yeah, I
based
hadn't
on all
that
the
one.
evidence.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have to find the title of the book, but yeah, that was something that came out. I want to say right around COVID time is when they released it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because everybody was on the internet to try and get some type of social interaction and information and whatever.
People had a lot of spare time.
Yeah, exactly. Was
Jeez.
Charles?
Ung.
Yeah,
I always forget how to say that.
yeah. I always forget how to pronounce that too.
Apologies.
Was arrested in Calgary for shoplifting, injuring a security guard. He was later extradited to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like they get caught over the stupidest stuff. It's like they don't get caught in the moment or anything that they specifically were doing, other than, well, occasionally, like you may have mentioned earlier, with like the letters that they send or phone calls that they make or stuff. But it's usually like, oh, a speeding ticket. Oh, well, let's inspect what's in your trunk. That looks like blood. We're gonna have to, examine this or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there was one that I remember where the person, it wasn't even a speeding violation or anything. It was like a fender bender.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went in, like when they were looking at it, the person hadn't taken everything out of his car before it got towed away. And in the trunk, there was not a bunch of bloody tools, but there were tools. And there were like slight markings, like there was some blood remnants and stuff. And they're like, what the hell's this? And that signaled some issue.
So I looked up 5 of them. Of course, Zodiac Killer is the top one. Jack the Ripper is the second one. The Atlanta Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
Killers believed to have murdered at least 15 African American women in Atlanta during the early 20th century. Despite several arrests, no one was ever charged, and the case remains unsolved. The Phantom Killer. This is based on the Texarkana killings. Remember the one that we did early on? The town that dreaded sundown?
Yeah.
That one was never found. Despite a massive manhunt and numerous suspects, the case remains cold. And then the Babysitter Killer, also known as the Oakland County Child Killer. This unidentified perpetrator is believed to have murdered at least 4 children in Michigan between 1976 and 1977. Despite DNA evidence and several leads, the case remains open and unsolved.
I know the person wasn't a serial killer, but did you ever see the one about the guy? This lady ends up being reported missing or whatever, and they're asking people, they're talking to people over by her apartment, and her next door neighbor came up and was like talking to him and giving detail and talking about her and stuff, and he's like, just really going on with it. And at one point they made the comment, they're like, so what are your thoughts about the fact that her body was recovered? And all of a sudden he goes like super pale and he loses his shit a little bit. And he's like, wait, they found the body? And like he unravels as he's sitting there on air. They discover that this guy was the guy that killed the lady. But he like slipped up because like his response to it like set off the people that were like kind of hanging around in the area, because he's like, I gotta go sit down, and like he had a panic attack and basically like self-reported himself. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. The I-70 killer. Remember the I-70 killer? He's never been caught either.
Yeah.
And that was across multiple states.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So they might have actually had a break on the Long Island serial killer case. They found new evidence.
Yeah.
As of during COVID, as of 2020.
I think that was one of the ones that they did a Netflix special on. I can't remember if they tried to pinpoint it on like a traveling salesperson or if it was like a truck driver or something like that. But they were like, yeah, this person is always on this road at this particular time. And it's like, there's at least 4 bodies at this point and then 2 for this time frame. So it's just probably a matter of time, especially the way things are now. You can't go anywhere on like major roads without cameras at least seeing your vehicle, your license plate, and so forth. And over time they'll be like, well, if this is a company vehicle, why was it, up this road if you've already made your deliveries for the time period or whatnot? So it's going to get tougher for serial killers, I guess.
It's good.
Yeah, true.
So apparently there's initials on a black leather belt that they found at one of the scenes. Well, maybe we'll find out one day soon that they solved another serial case. There we go.
Cool.
What was the movie with Tom Cruise?
Which one?
Tropic
where they had no the with the precogs. What was that?
Minority Report.
Yeah,
Minority Report.
It's only a matter of time before AI can be the equivalent of the precogs or something. So
yeah.
So the Midnight Crawlers, another famous serial killer who got caught.
So jumping back to the movie a little bit,
Yep.
I did want to get your guys' take because I feel like we bounced around quite a bit through some of the movie, but I wanted your guys' take on how Tyler ended up handling the truth and like what if you felt like a certain way about how it ended, like how he treated that situation and stuff, because obviously, like when spoilers for anyone in the chat that hasn't seen it, so tune down for a second. When he realizes that his dad is the one that's doing this stuff and they end up getting him, and then they don't reveal to anyone or turn him in, which is unlike the actual case, obviously. But what were your thoughts about that? Like, did you feel scummy about it in the way I did? Because I feel like when he didn't turn him in, I was like, oh God, now I need to take another shower. Because
I think
gross.
So I think the first part, because I know Fuzzy has a theory about the second part. So the first part, I think he gave his father so many chances to show some type of empathy, some type of, right decision making in that process. And dad kept on failing. You have where, dad got rid of the stuff and he manipulated his child into making him think that it was his uncle that did it. Then Casey was like, come on now. Your uncle did it? Doesn't sound right. So she was like his moral compass. And then, when they were, traipsing around trying to, follow him and everything like that, and every opportunity I'm going to confront him and he's at home right now. Then he finds the phone on the bed. It's like, oh, dad snuck away again. And then the final moments when he's like, has a gun and his father's convincing him to give up the gun and he takes the handgun away from Casey and stuff like that. And the gun wasn't even loaded. But dad pulled the trigger. Had no problem pulling that trigger. on his own son. So it's like he just his son kept on setting him up for success, and dad kept on failing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I
Yeah.
know Fuzzy has a thing about, them covering up the murder and why they did it. Covering up dad's murder.
Well, I think the cover up part from the family standpoint, and maybe even Tyler's selfish standpoint, he didn't want the family to be the pariahs. Like he was already being called like a pervert and stuff based on the picture that the one girl found, and she told somebody that told somebody that told somebody kind of thing. And I think he didn't see any positive outcome. Like it was bad enough dad's gone, mom's got to go back to work, and he's probably going to have to pick up a shift. Like I think he may mention he's got to pick up a shift at some other place or something. So he's going to be working just to kind of make like ends meet for the family. And I think the big thing was he didn't want them to be like homeless and stoned to death, because it seemed like that town may have literally stoned them to death kind of thing over this whole deal. But for me, when his father pulled the trigger, like to me that would be all bets off. Like whatever plan he had in mind of trying to either have him turn himself in or make it look like an accident, whatever the case was, it's like all bets were off when he pulled that trigger. That should have been like the end of everything for him. Like, all right, Dad, you wanted me out of here. You probably are the one that tried to kill Uncle, and for the whatever reason he's still around as a partial vegetable kind of thing. All bets should have been off at that point. But I think he was thinking of his mom, thinking of his sister, thinking of himself and what this would do to the family, because the dad even made mention of, if you call or something along those lines, that it would all turn to hell kind of thing for them. So it was scummy. I don't know. I think dad would have let's put it this way. The one thing I didn't yell at the screen kind of thing, but I was like, after the licenses, that would have been straight to the police. Like, that has to tell you, why does he have, whether it's Uncle, well, I think the Uncle story came after the fact, but it's like, why would anybody in that house that goes into that crawl space, which why would it be the uncle's crawl space if it's not the uncle's house? But kid not thinking straight, whatever. But I think I would have gone straight to the police with those licenses and be like, I think I found something that I don't know how to explain this, but these are probably licenses to people that my dad may have killed, kind of thing. Like I don't think I would have a problem turning in my dad if you find out something along those lines. Like earlier, like Cypher was saying, the nudie mags, no problem. It's completely out of my mind kind of thing. But it's like, oh, the picture of the one tied up lady that looked like she was, in desperation to be saved kind of thing. That Polaroid that he took of, what was her name? Natalie or something like that. And then he looked her up on the internet and that was like his 8th victim. It's like, that's, I think it would have gone a little bit differently, because his butt would have already been in handcuffs and turned in, and let him try to explain to the police it was Uncle, whatever the uncle's name was. Like, well, and he had the accident to, try to kill himself, but he didn't succeed. Like, no, I think the cops would have seen right through it. I mean, a 16-year-old should have been able to see through that, but maybe they're blinded because of family. The cops would have definitely gotten to the bottom of that.
I mean, looking back, I think I don't know, I think Tyler was setting up to kill his dad because of the fact that, one, Tyler's not stupid. 2, he wants to believe his dad, but if after his dad dies, all that evidence is laying around, it's going to be harder to get rid of it. if he convinces his dad that he's onto him, dad will get rid of it, and it'll be a little bit more convenient for him to stage something later. I don't know. I think Tyler was pre-planning.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I don't think he was as stupid or as gullible as you know, people were trying to lead on about. I don't know. I just thought, you know, because why would he even, you know, say you have two choices, get rid of it or turn yourself in kind of situation. And gave his dad an out. Like I said, he kept on giving his dad the ability to succeed. And dad kept on failing.
As soon as you had, like, I don't know. Again, I guess it's as soon as if I found stuff out like that, like if I find anything like that and it's like obvious that it's pinpointed this person that direction, like sorry dad, but you're getting the dime dropped on you, because
I mean, I would have.
Like I feel like as soon as he went in there and he found that the nudie mags, like the that they were gone from what was it, his work shed or whatever, like that would have made me nervous already and set me off in a way. And then when he confronted him about it, like as soon as I find something, I am putting this on authorities and they can deal with it, because it's a fight or flight thing of like, I don't know what he's going to do to my mom, to my sister. Like in that situation, I think I would have probably played it different. And I understand that he was very blinded by, you know, obviously the loyalty and stuff to it being his dad. But I don't know. I guess I'm more weak-willed on it, but I would have flipped that shit right on, been like, "See, Dad,
Yeah, I mean,
you killed 8 women. Adios."
I mean, I would say the same thing, but I mean, if we look at the beginning though, and all of that lead up that we still believe is a little bit too much, but even in there, you see how the town was just reacting to finding a photo.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
and how
that you
his
can't
best friend
move.
turned on him instantly.
But it doesn't mean that you can't move. And if you end up in a situation like this, like if he turned him in, obviously his dad's still going to be around. That would be a really good, valid reason for them to approach the police and be like, "Listen, we need to go into, you know, we need to go into some sort of hiding, or, you know, like we need your help, because obviously this guy has killed multiple people, has no concern about killing people, and witness protection would probably be a good fit for us. Send us to a cool other city, please."
Yeah, but let's talk about the police.
Sure.
In this, okay? So first of all, I know when we were viewing it, me and Fuzzy were viewing it, you know, he mentioned about, you know, it's like, well, wouldn't the cops have been able to just kind of, you know, put 2 and 2 together? What was it on?
Oh, about the actual Clovehitch nodding itself. It's like, the suspect should be like, hey, look for somebody in the Navy, or maybe somebody in the Boy Scouts, or associated with one of those two. That should be, I wouldn't say a prerequisite, but that, if anything, that should be a starting, which I would have to believe he was questioned at some point. Or if not him, the brother, and maybe that's why things kind of went the way they did with the brother. Maybe the brother was questioned and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he notices that. And then he's like, "Well, I need him to take a fall." And then it's like, if I, you know, disable him, then, and the things stop, they'll probably stop questioning him, or something along those lines kind of deal. But yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't like the first things that they started looking at. or any connection between the women, although it didn't sound like there were any as far as their look or other than just being from that town or something. So
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is that should have been kind of like, hey, these are different knots. Is the particular same knot all, all the time that we're seeing? Let's investigate this knotting technique. Where is it prevalent or whatever? But then we get to the ending, and it's like they're like, oh well, she sits her son down. She's like, yeah, the police wanted to talk to you, and I told him no. And she's explaining to him about what they're theorizing and why they want to talk to him, and it's like, are these cops that stupid? You don't know. You don't notice the contusions on this guy's head. You don't notice anything in reference to how he was shot accidentally, since it was a handgun. It's like, really?
yeah. Like that bump on his head should have definitely stood out. Although maybe they wanted to infer to her that it was a suicide as opposed to like foul play kind of thing. Because that's why they probably wanted to question the son. It'd be like, hey, we noticed your dad had a bump on his head. You know anything about that? Like, you guys because we heard you went on a hunting trip like a week or so ago.
But that's not what it sounded like. It sounded like, why would this guy accidentally shoot himself when he taught others about gun safety? That's what the line was about.
Yeah, but the way the mom was acting, she took it or interpreted it as maybe a suicide, or because I didn't really see it as her protecting him and being involved in the murder, because he was like, what, somebody killed him? No. And it's like,
but that's what I'm talking about. The cops should have seen it was a murder, that it was not really an accident, and that it was not suicide. Because what about the bumps on his head?
Yeah.
They're not going to go away, even if he shoots himself in the mouth.
Unless the shot was a big enough shot to blow the pieces of the bumps off his...
It was a handgun.
It wasn't a 22. So
it was a handgun.
Handguns can blow your face off.
Yeah, depending on the trajectory where you're actually shooting from.
But if it's an accidental shooting, it's not going to be enough. I'm telling you, I've seen photos. It's not enough.
You're seen photos,
see the back of the head. And he had a side, and she said she hit him on the side of the head too.
Well, it looked like he had, like when he was sitting in the chair when the son was setting up the handgun. It looked like he had blood from like just the top of his forehead or like the middle of his head leaning towards his forehead. So, I don't know. He was pointing at the cheek, maybe he aimed up a little bit, and it just knocked all of that off. I mean,
but but the whole thing is, it was supposed to look like an accident.
Welcome to our CSI Crime Scene podcast.
I'm just saying.
Maybe he was holding it loosely against his face for whatever reason, thinking about, man, I hope I have the safety and
analysis.
I just think the cops are dumb in this town.
Well, they didn't give them the best opportunity in this movie. Like they weren't represented properly. Like, even because I thought it was weird, and it's like, I know I probably can't walk up to a cop in a small town and start talking about, hey, what kind of rifle you use, or you ever like that to me is weird. Like, and the police officer looked like he was like, bud, I don't even want to talk. Like, just go about your business. I don't know why you're talking to me right now. I have my hands on my hips, close to my pistol, just in case. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's it. That is, Fee, you made a very good point. Like, those cops were dumb. I would say those cops are dumb enough that they would have seen those bumps and not thought much about it.
Oh my god!
It's like maybe he had his accident and then fell and bumped his head.
Yeah, like, do you know how many times I'm working on something around the house and I accidentally smack my head on like the damn cupboard as I'm working on a sink or something? Like, you can get injured so fast just working around the house. It could have been there before it happened.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I just think cops were dumb.
They were, but again, that plays to my point. Like, if they
Yeah.
saw those bumps, they would have been like, "Oh, looks like he was doing some home projects." Dirt.
It's the fella out of his truck coming down here. Man.
Benefit of the doubt is like, oh, he must have gotten hit in the head with a baseball while they were playing some, backyard ball.
Oh my god.
Oh,
All right. So I do want to know what you guys would rate this. Fee, we're going to start with you.
Oh, why do I
Yes.
gotta go first?
You try to never
You
go
always
first.
try and weasel out of it. So let's hear your rating and your justification why.
I mean, I did like this. I think there were parts where I was like, let me see how much time this is, because I'm thinking, are they gonna end it like this? And I was like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I think that's why I was checking the time and stuff. It's like how much time, because they got to be explaining this, and they did. So, and I like Dylan McDermott. I'm saying his name properly.
Yep.
And I think there were good, realistic performances. I mean, yeah, the cops were dumb in this, but we didn't actually see the cops. So I think they were just using it as kind of like a device to explain things away. I think the kid's speech at the end, when he was trying to say things that people would see as being good things about somebody without letting on that he wasn't really talking all the time about his dad and stuff like that. And it showed that he was still conflicted about his dad, but he wasn't going to let on to anybody else that. Yeah, I think this for me would be an 8.
Damn. Okay.
Are we shocked?
No, it's reasonable. It's not IGN 7 situation.
Yeah.
So.
We're gonna make a t-shirt out of that, by the way.
Yeah, hey, that would be a perfect shirt for it. It would work out really well, and
we're not gonna call it an IGN 7 though.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not getting sued.
Whatever. Fuzzy, what was your take? Where'd you land on this film?
I definitely think this is 7.5 to solid 8 range. Like, good story. There. Notice how if he didn't point out plot holes or anything like that, or
there were small plot holes. Okay, small.
Yeah, all right, but
don't get her started on the plot holes.
Okay.
No, but even with the, I won't say it's cringe, but like even with the uncomfortableness of, to some extent, for the beginning of the way the town interacts and stuff, and now the son's a perv because the one girl finds a picture in the truck kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of that plays into, how this all turned out. And I like that we saw the son go from, oh, there's no way my dad could be into this. Maybe it's a kink thing. And then it's like, I don't know. He has this picture of this lady that's missing. And it's like, well, maybe it's not him. And then the dad comes up with the BS of like, oh, it was your uncle. And I tried to stop him. And he whatever. But it's like, you can see him like still uncomfortable, and deep down, like he probably knew even after that, BS explanation, that it was his dad as opposed to, his uncle. But he wanted to, believe his dad, because, most of us want to at least believe our parents to some extent. If we have a good relationship with our parents, it's like you usually at least try to give them the benefit of the doubt, or take them at their word kind of thing. And then he realizes, yeah, my dad he's a monster. He may go to church, but nobody knows the real side to him. Like we all see this face or this front type of thing. So I just like that there was that transition throughout. The flashback definitely helped make what looked like was going to be an early ending a lot more sense. Like instead of him just popping out of the like around the doorway type of thing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Didn't really yell at the screen other than it's like, dude, you probably should explain to this girl. Yeah, it's my dad's truck. I don't know what he does on the weekends. How about I take you home kind of thing and just try to get past it as soon as possible and not be labeled a perv or get your family labeled as pervs or something. But yeah, it was a good story. Ending could have gone a little smoother, but all in all, I think everything pans out for the best situation from that kid or from Tyler's standpoint. I think that's like with him being the main focal point or main character. Even though it's not a great ending for him, it's as good as it could be, kind of thing. So solid 8.
Nice. Well, I'm probably going to be sitting right around the same as you guys. Probably give it high 7 or right around an 8 as well. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure what we were getting into, like I said, and it was a pleasant surprise. After the first like 15 or 20 minutes settled, and it kind of got away from the church stuff, it got way more intriguing. But I will say that even the stuff that I didn't like at the beginning, like it did a really good job at building the weird, like awful tension in this town, and like you guys were talking about, like the judgment and everything that's kind of built in there because it's a small town, it's religious, there's a lot going on, everyone knows each other, and so yeah, like it ramps up really fast because of that scenario and the environment that they're in. And so it did a really good job at kind of raising that tension, but also just that it's like there was that constant just gross feeling throughout the whole movie where you just like you felt unsettled. They did a really good job at setting that tone. The actors and actresses did really good. I think as you mentioned, Tyler did as much as he could to kind of deal with the situation as it was. So it turned out okay with him. But I will say I was very sad for my boy Tyler because he got blocked, like friend zoned so many times by the girl that he was roaming around with. No kisses, no nothing. Like he got absolutely nothing for all of his struggle and effort. And so, hopefully at the end of it, hopefully he at least got like a kiss or something and like a hug for like, hey, sorry, your family's broken and you have to go get a job at 11 or however old he was. Yeah, I don't know. It was good. It was good. I liked the choice on the casting for this, and I definitely feel like they did a good job with the material.
Yeah.
I told you they're getting married. I mean, they're already trauma bonded. There's no way out of that now.
Yeah, but there's a good possibility after all that stuff and after, like, because she got the photo taken of her, and if she understood or started thinking about like everything that was on there and what could have happened, like she might be in a spot where she doesn't even want to consider any relations for a while. She'll be like, I'm scarred by the fact that this shit went down in a bad way.
I mean, you would think that, but
also they shouldn't have any relations at that age because they're still like 11 teen.
They're still 11.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I'm just saying a kiss on the cheek or a hug or something, like make the kid.
I thought she did. I thought she did.
She cock blocked him like all the way through the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say this, being in a similar experience where, you have a lot of people judging you, a lot of people, in a sense, attacking you, and just having that one person that is kind of your person that you're venting to at the same time they're agreeing with you or they're helping you out, and they're the only person, you wind up being involved with that person because you built so much trust in each other. And I mean, they were listening to each other, they were communicating on a different level, and you saw he's like, hey, I need help, and she's like, I'm gonna walk into danger for him. And then when she's in danger, he's like instantly called her. He's like, he didn't even question, I gotta get her out of this. I put her in this situation, but I gotta. There were moments where you could see, after all of the dust settling and the fact that they shared this murder together, I could see them get married in the end. I could. Part 2, we need to have a wedding.
No, I'm thinking in part 2, the plot twist is that it turns out that she was actually his dad's accomplice, and she played it off at the end and got him killed off, because then she's like, sweet, now I'm in the clear. And then she starts a sex ring, and now he has no idea what the hell to do with himself, because he's been betrayed multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, wow. She takes over the crawl space pit.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Spoilers.
She put some drywall up and expands on the bathroom.
Yeah. And then she found Buffalo Bill to come over and like do dances for people. It's a whole thing, man. I don't know.
And we definitely need a 5-minute montage on whether she's going to put the tub in the shower or put the tub not in the shower, or if she's just going to get rid of a tub at all.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and also what she's going to do about lotion on the skin, right?
Exactly.
It makes sense. It all falls into place.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, somebody discovered that I have an IMDb page and everybody else has an IMDb page. But yeah, as Fuzzy said in the comments, I don't know where it was, but yeah, there is one script already written, and we're trying to get that one filmed and everything. I have to get a location. But the thing about IMDb, if anybody realizes this or not, but on IMDb, if you're doing a short, you have to complete the short before you can list it. That's what's supposed to happen. I don't know if people do it that way. But yeah, you're supposed to wait until everything's completed for a short and then you put it on, compared to the feature film. The feature film is not completely written yet. And then I have one that Kaneda told me about. I haven't started that one with him. I've been trying to, but he has another zombie movie that he would like to do, and we've talked about it. And but he kind of needs a little help with staying motivated and stuff like that. But we haven't gotten together yet, so that's the third one that will probably be up.
Plus the ones you've been in.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's Yumanabachi 3. That one, it's supposed to be August 30th, he said. He gave me a time and a date, but I have no script, so that's kind of freaking me out. Bloodshed and Boredom, that one, they're filming in August, pretty much on the same day. They're filming in August on the same day as Yumanabachi 3, but since I'm doing a remote role, that's not until December, it says, but I'm going to contact them to see if they're still on cue with the December date. And then there's the one we're supposed to be doing that's also a remote role. That's it's now been renamed to Barbara. It's not up yet under that listing. It's still up under Rise of the Living Dead. But I'm supposed to do a reporter remote thing, and that's due by September 1st. So it's not going to be immediately put up. What's the other one?
What about What's Wrong, Wendy? Is that
That one's already up. What's Wrong, Wendy is already. It's not completed yet, but it's already up on my page. Swine and Dine's already up on the page. Now, something's going to change when Crimson Harvest gets closer to being finished. Right now, I'm just up as a makeup artist, but he's probably going to put me on as something else. Because what happened was, we went there, and I was supposed to kind of like be tailing him, and we were just going to figure out what that would look like, which is usually some type of producer kind of position or whatever. Or if he found a job that he really liked me doing and stuff like that. What wound up happening was, since he didn't have an actual makeup artist there, which you'll find at most independent horror, you'll have the special effects guy show up or the special effects woman show up, but there won't be a regular makeup artist. So while he had Paul Sutt doing the special effects, which is great, Paul doesn't do the regular stuff. If he had Amanda doing it, she would have done everything, but he had Paul doing just the special effects. So when Celia was like, hey, shouldn't I be dirty for this particular scene?
Very dirty.
He said, hey, let's rub some dirt on you. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea if you're talking about chiggers in the dirt. She gonna have a whole bunch of chigger bites on her after that. So I was like, hey, why don't I do it? I have makeup. I'll do it. So that's how I wound up getting the makeup. And I said, hey, do you want me to list it right now? And he's like, yeah, sure. Go ahead and list it. Because he knew I had access. So that's how I got makeup. But you'll also see TBH sitting next to my name as well, because he hasn't really determined all the roles that I've played yet in the production, which is supposed to be in September, late September. Then we have Along Came a Rainbow. That's on, I believe. And we're supposed to be podcasters, but I think she only listed my name so far. But that will change. Because we're going to do a tabletop thing.
I have something I'll have to mention to you guys at some point too. It's something that came to mind as I was roaming around in the very rural areas of Idaho and like Nevada as we were heading home from our trip recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have another one where Travis, he was in Crimson Harvest with us. He was I think one of the victims. He mentioned something recently, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." So I'm going to ask him if he wants to write something, at least a short. You know, we can always write a short about it. But yeah, I do have an IMDb page, and you'll see some other stuff come up. But you also see things popping up on Ciphers and Fuzzies and Pressers as well.
And Web Dave, because Web Dave has one as well.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Web Dave.
Yep. Now, the only thing about IMDb pages is that unless you pay for IMDb, the subscription to it, you can't really do anything as far as changing your stuff.
Ah, dang it.
So
That's what I was going to ask. I had no idea how.
Yeah. So yeah, I would have to change it, which I have no problem. I've set up things for people that, you know, they're like, hey, I don't have an IMDb page and, you know, I'm in this, but nobody set it up for me. And I was like, I'll set it up for you. I don't have a problem with it.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, whatever you want me to add.
Much appreciated. Well, I might have one or two things. I don't want you to put the OnlyFans stuff on there yet because I haven't really. I haven't talked to my employer about that too much yet, and I don't know how jazzed they'll be about that. So, well, should we hit our outros and get out of here for the evening?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Fee, tell them where they can find you.
Oh, come on now. Why always I go first?
All right, Fuzzy, your turn.
Well, as always, love doing this on Fridays with you guys. while this movie, I see Infinite Umbra is here with us here, and this isn't quite the scary kind of movie. It's more of that psychological thriller, so you might enjoy this one. But yeah, I always love talking about these types of movies with you guys, and so glad to be here with y'all tonight. And everybody in the chat, thank y'all for coming out. Greatly appreciate you giving us the time and chatting with us and interacting and just laughing at some of our silly jokes and stuff. But yeah, you can always find me on social media. Just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere. Probably talking about video games, but yeah, you can find me, and hope to see you guys here next Friday, same time, same place. Cypher, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, there you go, Cypher.
I was responding back because there's slander in the chat. No, as far as where you can find me, catch me on social media all over the place as Silent Cypher, except for Twitter because fuck Elon. But besides that little tidbit, yeah, you can find me Instagram, Threads, all over the place on there. You can find me on Xbox playing some video games if you ever decide you want to play some Call of Duty, or something comes out and you want to play something. If I'm around, I always enjoy jumping on and playing some stuff. Find me starting to work on some voice stuff again finally after a hiatus. I won't mention too much yet, but I will be working on my Fiverr account again because I started building it and then I went on a long, lazy streak. So we're going to be shifting away from that soon. Besides that, you can find me on Wednesdays on Xbox International Podcast when the schedule aligns. Find me on Double Barrel Gaming's podcast every other Friday morning. Find me here every Friday evening when schedules align. And besides that, I don't have too much at the moment. Hopefully I'll just get some more time to play some video games and watch some movies.
All right. So before, a couple things. One, somebody asked us, when are we doing Texas Chainsaw? When are we analyzing Texas Chainsaw Massacre? When do we want to do that, guys? Do we want to do it in September? We can do it in September.
Yeah,
sure.
We got a lot of things going on in August. I just got another actress to do an interview, so that'll be posted soon. And then we have Robbie Lopez, who we're gonna be doing Critters All You Can Eat review on that one while talking to him. So yeah, we can do Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He wants to do one, so we can do that in September. We'll find time. Besides that, me and Fuzzy are going to go this Sunday to Swine and Dine premiere and hang out with some of the cast and crew. They had, as of yesterday, I think there was 20 seats left, and only because they upped us to a bigger theater. So we had sold out for the little theater, and they were like, hey, do you want to go with the bigger theater? So yeah, that's nice. So that's also that one's at the Smod Castle Cinema in Atlantic Heights, New Jersey. That is Kevin Smith's movie theater. So there is still time. I have posted it all over the place, but if you look up Swine and Dine, they also have been posting like crazy on Facebook. It's better on Facebook than going on Instagram, because Instagram, it's harder to do the links. It's harder to click on them. But Facebook, if you have access to that, I don't think they put it on Twitter, but I could put it on Twitter for you guys in case you're Twitter or Blue Sky, because I know the links will work on those two as well. So why don't I do that? I'll put it on Twitter and I'll put it on Blue Sky if you guys want to go out. But there are still some tickets left for that. And it's from 3 until 6 on Sunday. So it's like in the middle of the day. It's not too late. It's not too early. They're going to give you a small popcorn and a small drink. I'm sure you can upgrade or whatever. But it's a nice deal for $20. So, and the service fee was like 49 cents. which I've never seen a service fee like a convenience ticket fee for 49 cents. So that was just wow. But yeah, you can catch me on Blue Sky. I am on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, but mainly on Instagram. Not getting much love on Blue Sky. What's up with that? Cypher, you got a campaign for me?
I'll tell you, I'm not getting too much love on it yet either. I feel like it's starting to add some features, but it hasn't popped off just yet. It's I don't know. It's weird.
I would be exclusively on there if they did the messaging, like the messaging part. You can't do group message. Like that's killing me. I
still don't understand how that's not a thing. They literally just got it so I can add emojis to comments that you make. And I'm like, oh, thank God we finally made it to like the 2000s. Like, I don't know how this thing's running so far behind, especially with how much traction it got this year.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's where I'll be. So if you guys want to check it out, always look at my IMDb. Sometimes they put up things that are coming. Sometimes they don't attach me until, whenever. I try and let the people leading the production do that, but sometimes I get a little antsy because it's like, come on now. But yeah. So anything else, guys?
No.
Good?
No, I got nothing.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.